I get emails every single day from people asking pretty much one main question, which is, what does it take to be successful? Chris, what should I do? What do I need to do now to be successful down the road? And it's not always asked in that way, almost never. It's usually something like, well, what should I go to college, or should I go work for this person, or who should I look at as a mentor? Who should I follow, and can you help me with this or that? And it's all, what do I need to do to be successful? And it's something I think about a lot, because when I was about, 7 years ago, I was in corporate America. I hated my job. I quit because I couldn't stand it anymore. I didn't feel like I was a part of a team or empowered by my boss. And along the way, I realized that when I'm 70 or 80 or 90 years old, do I want to look back as a grumpy as hell old man and say, man, I could have really done something with my life, but instead, I worked this okay job, making decent money. I could take care of my family, but I get one shot at this thing called life, and I spend it doing this? So how are you spending your time? Like, ask these questions to yourself and really think about it. Like, when I knew that I couldn't spend the rest of my life sitting at a desk all day, working for a company that didn't appreciate me, I woke up big time and said, well, what do I want to do? I love being in restaurants. I love helping people. I love being around the environment. I did it all through college and grad school, and I even had a catering company when I went off to be in restaurants full time. So I jumped in. I said, Dad, I want to do this. And he said, you know what, bud? Any business that's successful has to take a risk at some point. And at that point, I knew he had my back. He knew I was confident enough in myself to figure it out. But the most meaningful parts of my journey, for the most part, and there's been a lot. I opened a restaurant. I've done a bunch of TV, 2 TEDx talks. I'm actually getting ready for another talk here in Atlanta in a couple weeks. But most meaningful parts have been where I've learned things I didn't know before. I didn't know how to give talks. I didn't know how to do TV, or I became a chef. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. But I was willing to figure it out. Because that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I have for anybody, is to be curious. If you don't know how to do something, figure it out. Nobody taught me how to do TEDx talks. I had a little bit of coaching right before, but I said, I want to do this. I have no clue how, but I got to figure it out. Same thing with TV. Now I've done probably 100 TV segments, across the East Coast. Not because I was good at it and knew how, but because I wanted to give it a try. And I was willing to fail before I could be good at it. So be willing to fail. Put yourself out there. If you're not putting yourself in a position to fail regularly, then you need to ask yourself, am I too comfortable with where I am? Am I actually doing anything important or interesting? Because if it's easy every single day, wouldn't anybody do it? I went to the University of Alabama, and our coach, Nick Saban, he has the process, which is all about focusing on what we're doing right now and not focused on winning games or even winning championships. And this quote I love by him is, there's no continuum for success. Focus on the progress, not the results. They're saying, what can I do this very play right now that's going to put me in the best position to be successful for the next play or for the next week, so that I can then be successful and maybe win the championship down the road. It's a complete mentality of being present in the moment and really showing up every single day to get better. And when you do that, you get better and better and better, and all of a sudden you're pretty damn good by however long it is when you look back. Because it is a process. It's a lot of an uphill battle. I mean, if you only knew half my story, understanding your psychology, knowing that you have control over how resilient you are. And you have to be resilient, because if you want to make anything work in this world, especially these days, you have to be resilient. Like I said, I've been knocked down time and time again. But here I am. Ask yourself, am I really working really hard right now to make this successful for myself? And if you are, great. Keep going, man, and keep your head up. Be resilient and know that it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. But if you really do and you really commit to it and say, this is what I want for my life. This is what I want to make for myself, for my family, for my career. So I can look back in 20 or 30 or 50 years and say, that was one hell of a life. I really made it matter. I left an impact on my community. I took care of my family. I treated people with respect. And I built something that mattered. So show up and keep showing up until you can't get up anymore.